CM 365, all about Carnatic music. Today I'll be sharing something about the concept of aesthetics in the context of Indian art and culture. Now, what is aesthetics? It is the philosophy of artistic expression, and it refers to the philosophy of the beautiful as well. But in the Indian classical music or dance or drama context, we could use the word rasa, which has been mentioned actually in all the treatises. And I would say that rasa is a much better word to denote the kind of experience that one gets through watching or seeing or hearing a particular art in the Indian context. So let us see what the word rasa has to mean. And three primary associations of this meaning are like, first is of being the object of perception by the sense of taste, which is called rasana. Then of being the essence of anything or any being, that's the second interpretation of rasa. The third is of being something liquid or dynamic as opposed to something which is solid or static. Now the Upanishads, they use the word rasa for that ultimate reality which is the basis of what we call as ananda. In the Indian tradition again, the central point of aesthetics is the rasa rather than the beauty. Aesthetics is about basically about the concept of beauty, but here we see that in the context of the Indian art and culture, we see that the rasa happens to be the focal point, and it is the being the direct source or essence of ananda is the ultimate goal of all artistic expressions and creations. So ananda is supposed to be the ultimate goal of any artistic creation. And as we all know, the concept of rasa in Indian aesthetics originated and developed in the context of dramaturgy. So as drama is a perfect combination of auditory and visual, that is drishya and what we call as sravya, representation, it provides the best scope for the analysis of the process of experience and the nature of aesthetic delight. Also, we see that no separate concept of aesthetics was evolved for specialized arts concentrating only on a particular aspect of Shravya or Drishya. Now, Bharata is supposed to be the first extant author on Natya and Rasa, and he has referred to the analogy of the perception of relish or taste, and this is very interesting, in the description of the enjoyment of the art. And this analogy that he has mentioned has two implications. Now let us look at what he has tried to convey. The first thing he says that is, in enjoyment of the art, the subject-object relationship is most intimate, just as in the perception of taste, the contact of subject and object is one of complete identification with assimilation of the object by the subject. This is something very interesting where he says that, I'd like to explain it a bit further. The subject-object relationship is most intimate, he says, and that establishes the fact about the connection between the performer and here what we call as the listener or the rasika. The second thing he compares is about just as the taste of a delicacy is not merely a sum total of the taste of the ingredients, but is something new wherein the ingredients cannot be perceived separately. Similarly, the content of the enjoyment of art is not a sum total of the various components of artistic representation, but quite different. This, of course, he expresses with another beautiful analogy and says, Panaka Rasanyaya, the rasa or taste of Panaka. Panaka, we all know, is a beautiful combination of various elements like water, jaggery, shuk, and other small flavoring spices in that we put it. So once that panaka is formed, we see that individually we are not able to identify the taste of anything, but as a sum total, it gives a beautiful taste. So that's what he is trying to compare, and he says that even in the concept of art, though there are several ingredients coming together to form that particular art, The enjoyment is actually the sum total of all this, and individually or in parts, we do not enjoy the art. So thus, Bharata Natya Shastra actually talks of music in the context of drama only. But then we see that it is also very much applicable to the concept of music, because rasa is something and rasanubhava is something which is the ultimate, the end result of any presentation of art. So only when there is rasanubhava, then we say that the art has reached in its proper perspective. So in this context, I could also say that the word rasa has got much more to connote than the word aesthetics. Though we try to equate the word rasa with aesthetics, I would say that rasa is a much more larger word in terms of its connotation. CM 365, all about Carnatic music.